Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to another video. We are on the test server today. I want to show you guys two of the champions that are going to be featured on the latest patch that will be coming in very soon. On the game, we've got Greta Hansel and Hansel Hagbane. Greta will be the fusion champion. Hansel will be the one probably available through events and tournaments. I'm not sure exactly if they're going to do like a shard summoning, kind of event for him. We don't know yet the details. But we do know that both of them are going to be a power couple. So they're going to work very well together. The plan for today's video is to just show them both together instead of one by one. I do know that, Gretel will be the one that it's going to be easiest to get. And the plan is to show them basically first in a blender composition, which I find it's going to be very difficult to do anything to the current meta in terms of arena. But after that, I'll just showcase them in, I guess, the Hydra, I would say, is the most feasible use for them because of their default skills. So Greta Hagbane applies defense down and Hansel applies weaken. So you'll have a constant decreased defense and weaken application coming in from these champions. And if you pair them together with ally attack champions, it becomes just a great source of damage throughout the fight. With that said, I don't think it's going to be that easy to pick up Hansel, so it makes the whole thing of using them for their default skill ability to do like an AoE debuff. It brings that to a point where you just don't know if you're going to have this possibility, right? So you're going to go for Gretel, you're going to pick her up, but then what about Hansel, right? So you need both of them. Both have been built with really good gear, Zeal and Lethal. If you have a look at Gretel, she has minimum speed and 326% crit damage, 6.5k attack without any blessings yet. But with blessings, that goes much higher. In terms of the accuracy, that would be nice if I boosted that up a little bit in order for her to apply the decreased defense. I do get some accuracy here. And of course, I went Helm Smasher, getting Ruthless Ambush as well, and then Opportunist as well. So all of those tie in together with both of their builds. So both of their builds are pretty much the same. I could have gone for Sniper instead. Maybe that would have been a better choice in order to get that an additional 5% chance to apply the decreased defense and weaken from both. But the way that I've built them is with kind of like low speeds just for the ally attack compositions I want to try out and see whether their damage is justified. Like if you have a look at Hansel, 7.3 and 271% crit damage. So both are built very end game. So I do expect their damage to be very much so comparable to other heavy damage dealers, but we'll just have to test it out. So the way that I'm going to test it out today is just a little bit of Dragon, just to see what kind of damage we're running on stage 23, just with Hansel first. I would say Gretel first, and then Hansel, I'll just put him right after, because we want to see the fusion, right? We want to see the fusion first, because that's going to be the champ offered on 31st. So for Halloween, I guess. So if you do an ally attack here, she just hits a little bit, does good damage, but I think her real, power comes through her AoE attack, okay? AoE attack decreases turn meters. If somebody's still alive, she gains turn meter. And then if Hansel is in the same team, she decreases that without any accuracy needed. So that is where they are quite cool. So look at the turn meter boost I got there. After all that damage, like no defense down weaken here, we did do some very solid damage. If I had something like a Lydia, right, go before her, it would have been so much different. So her A2 is a quad hitting attack, so I do expect this to kill the enemies, look at that, and give me so much more turn meter and a reset of the skill. So basically allows me to go again, so can actually go again and look at all that turn meter. We get the cooldown back. It's a very strong single target, which I do like a lot. With that amount of gear, I do expect it to do good damage, and it did about 200,000 damage without any defense down or weaken. So if I put both of those together, and then I put Lydia as well, guys, you'll see the real difference in, damage potential right there. So we'll have an increased attack, we have a defense down weaken, we'll have the ally attack as well. So here, let's just see the ally attack without the defense down weaken, I guess, and then see how that goes. Look at that, the defense down coming in, and then the double hit coming in from Hansel, because his kit basically says if the enemies have a debuff, he'll double hit, so makes him that much more powerful. She only double hits if the enemies have a buff on them, so very much much more difficult to apply that kind of condition on enemies as well as debuffs, because usually they might have a block debuff buff. So let's see, increase attack here. Let's see the A3 now with everything on them. Ooh, actually quite strong, and Hansel actually gets the most benefit out of being in this couple because he has an increasing cooldown ability that cannot be resisted. Makes him so cool to use, and you saw all that damage there, like 250,000 damage, like good multipliers. But this is, I mean, content you won't see them really in. You'll see them probably, as I said, in Hydra and well, it's going to be Hydra. It's going to be Hydra. I don't think they're going to do anything in arenas, because if we try out any of these teams, honestly, I'll probably get wrecked. So what I want to try is some of the teams that can potentially go faster, and then see how that goes. So you'll have a speed booster, your ally attacker, then your two champions have to be slow. That's how blended teams go. They have to be slow because you can boost their stats. Firekin is one of the best ally attack champions for this. The reason for that is very simple, basically, because he also provides a critical rate boost, so you can build them with 70% crit instead. So if we have a look at this team, hopefully we're going to be faster. I don't know how fast this guy is. Let's see. Okay, we boost a little bit, and then let's see the ally attack here. We see the stone skin. That's where the big concern of mine is for just running this composition. The blender composition is just stone skin. You won't be able to get through it. You can run a stone skin blender team, but it's not going to be the same. And the blessing that affects the damage you do on stone skin is not that strong, in my opinion. So here, probably just be able to kill this squad here, and that's going to be it. So good damage. We didn't even kill Yumiko there, which I find kind of sad, actually, making us here basically we're dead here, because I can't do anything. Guess no, the A1s, I could do the A1s, but just left on the mercy there of Duchess. Okay, and just try and kill her off. Don't have any skills on off cooldown. Just gonna be the A1s, and they're so squishy. Like attack based damage dealers are so squishy anymore that even the supports hitting me do good damage. So we're not hitting hard there with the A1s, but that was expected, I guess. I mean, if I press auto, should be it, right? It's another ally attack, clearing through. So kind of good damage, not crazy damage. It could have been better. So I don't know how fast Deadwood is with this team. Let's see. Basically, you have to be faster for this to work. So I am faster, but I don't know if I'm going to be fast enough here. There we go. Let's see. This should kill them all, basically. So if you go first, there's no stone skin. There's no reaction proccing. You should be able to kill it. Even with reaction, we did manage to get a kill. That's nice. And then against this team, again, I'll have to be faster, but I don't know. Yang probably is faster than me, especially with this combo that he's running. Can feel it. Don't think 400 speed is that fast, especially with everything. Yeah, see, if he manages to get the turn through because of, well, I didn't have it speed tuned, I'm dead. Yeah, there we go. If I do revive, yeah, I get my turn meter stolen. So I could try to speed tune it. I just need to run basically the ally attacker at much higher speed. So the way that you speed tune these teams is Arbiter at 394. Firekin should be around the 340 mark to be able to really make this team work. So let me just show you guys what I mean by that. By speed tuning this, I'm just going to turn it all into speed sets, and that's going to be way better. I went a little overboard with the speed, but I think it's going to be fine. So right now we should be able to get this through. Again, the stone skin is going to basically stop us in our tracks of actually getting a kill through. But I think also Narcissus will take 0 damage for this, right? Yeah, because we go out of turn to attack him. That's right. So what am I going to do against the Narcissus? Nothing. I can't do nothing here. That's crazy. Yeah. I remembered his kid right as I was getting the attack through. So not good at all. So this team probably heavy in stone skin too. So you see already the problems, guys, that this team can face in terms of just running this. I mean, you can be fast, but here you'll do nothing. You'll barely be able to scrape through half of the stone skin. Even with the blessing, no chance I can go through that. Dutch is in there too, so you get wrecked by a free champion, which is Marius. So that's it for the blender showcase. I do think there's no room for them in PvP. In terms of Hydra, we're gonna try hard Hydra because of how everything is messed up in the Hydra. I just don't like it. So the way that we're gonna go is with a feral team here. We're gonna have double ally attackers in there. So basically only damage dealers coming through will be these two guys. I think I don't need even Krisk. Maybe I could run Toshiro in there to help out with the Legion stuff and see the damage there. I could possibly do that, but then I won't be running a provoke. So let's just go with this team. So the idea here is to have ally attacks happening all the time. The A1s will be going crazy. The heads will be popping off. It doesn't matter because those staying alive or dying, it's not really going to matter. We are able to apply decreased defense and weaken all the time. That's a huge boost to how our damage works with this setup. And you see the ally attacks happening with some big numbers, by the way. Just the A1s, by the way. The A3s do way more damage for both champions. One is an increasing cooldown skill, which works very well in PvP. You manage to get a turn. Honestly, it's going to be very difficult to run both of them in PvP and not have one being banned, let's say in live arena. It's not going to be the same effect as having, you know, Narcissus and Queen Ankara in the same PvP fight. You still get, you know, the problem of one being banned. The other one is still strong. Like Narcissus is still strong on his own. Ankara is still strong on her own, not as strong as with the Narcissus, obviously, but Narcissus is strong on his own. So we already see some good damage, like 4 turns, 6 million. It's not the best, but with the amount of gear I put on them, I do expect like that 8 million now that lots of heads are down. So if the Hydra was at a better position where now when the heads pop back up, we wouldn't have the problems of the invulnerability and the way that the targeting works when one champion is eaten. We should have been much better, but for now, just have a look at how everything is going. 4 turns, almost 12 million damage. That's going to be nice. I'm gonna let this run for a little bit, let's say 50 turns or so, and see how that goes. Whether the team survives or not, I'm not sure. We'll just let it run. We're looking at about 2 million damage per turn with just 2 damage dealers here, but we have a lot of enablers in there, so good damage, but it needs the proper support behind it. All right, so we are almost back with actually the team probably dying here. Look at that. Yeah. We had Hansel just die here on the 50 turns, basically because of no block buffs at the right point, and also just him being a little bit lower. If we had something like a leech debuff on, maybe we could have survived that. But as you see, we did like almost 2 million per turn, and that is without a hex debuff ongoing and without any blessings going on for the team. So I kind of like their damage. Let's just end the battle. I kind of like their damage if you have all of these things put in together. So we'll see what kind of damage we're running at. 28 with Greta, Hansel with 44. Obviously Hansel would have had a better, you know, setup for his damage because he does the double hit with the A1 when there's debuffs on. So basically Greta is an enabler for Hansel. So also we could have had it so that when Greta dies, you have Hansel activating his A3 immediately because of the passive. So if we had something like a constant reviver in the team to get Greta back up and running with like a squishier setup, that could have been something. But overall, I like their damage. It's not out of this world by any means. And me dying there was just an unlucky thing with the reflect, really, and just having maybe like a better setup with him would have been better. Also, if I had higher speeds on both of them, probably we would have seen better damage. But the speeds that they were running, Greta and Hansel, were the ones used for a blender setup. So if I would run them for, you know, Hydra, would have been 220 plus, 220 speed plus, with maybe a little bit extra accuracy for hard and higher, a little bit of extra accuracy for nightmare. Let's say you'll need 350 to be on the safer side to apply the debuffs, that is. So that is my review on Greta, Hackbane, and Hansel. I like them both. It's just that you need Hansel to make this couple like really powerful. It's an attack-based damage dealing couple. So it's not like Venus, Cupidus, where they have such amazing kits, and when they're put together, they become even greater. You know, Sifi, Rotos, insane combos. We have so many champions. Xavia and Bellanor even work very well together. So these two should work well together. It's just that I think their multiplayers might be on the lower side, especially through the A1. I've seen big numbers through the A1, but Greta on her own is not going to do much unless you have really good gear on her. And I've run her in areas of the game where the defenses are lower. You'll run defense down weekend already. So having her big damage come through with this one, it's going to be great, but it's not enough to justify, right? If you don't have Hansel, it's not enough to justify, you know, maxing her out and using her in any area on her own. But with Hansel, I can totally see them being it as one of your teams, especially for hard, where the bosses don't hit that hard. Yeah, it's I think it's a good spot for them in that ally attack kind of setup that you've just seen. So that was the video, guys, for today. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe. See you all in the next one. See ya.